So, rule number 1 and rule number 2 is kind of like Fight Club. Same rules, right? Boundaries. There is a deer right there. Why are they? You're like the deer dog. Every time you're here, the deer are out. So, I'm not gonna touch her, right? Because who wants to be like grabbed and moved out of the way? I'm just going to step into her space. See how she's kind of, yeah, there you go. See how she shuffled away? She hears my dogs and she wants to get up on my porch. I don't want that because that's going to bother my dogs, right? Boundaries. Invisible ones. And they're there just because I say they are, right? I'm going to do it again. And as I'm pushing into her space, I'm going to make that clicking sound with my tongue. I call it a cluck, right? And that sound eventually is going to mean move all 4 of your feet. So with my dogs, when we refine that skill, all we have to do is point in the direction we want them to go. But right now, it doesn't matter. She could go that way. She can go that way. Don't care as long as she's moving away from the porch. So I'm not going to be too specific, right? Because I don't want her to feel like she's messing it up, right? So I'm just going to, good girl, Nala. And I'm going to step back out of her space. She stepped out of my space. I'm going to do the same, right? Good girl. And I'm going to let her think about it for just a minute. She hears my dogs. It's all good, right? Good. Good girl. And for that, I am going to treat her, right? Because that was exact. You don't want those? That not suit your fancy? You sure? Is it because there's a Band-Aid on my finger? You ate one of these at your own house. You ate one earlier. See, that's okay. You may just not want one. That's all right. So instead, I'm going to show her an open hand. I'm going to put my leg out. That is my barrier. That's okay. If you want to go that way, that's fine. But what you're not going to do is go up on my porch. There is a baby gate there. This is not 100% invisible barriers. 85%. Because she wants to go up here. I'm saying no. Why? Because I'm mom. And out of habit, I am just kind of pointing that direction because ideally that's where I'd like her to go so she can go check out the yard. Again, this is body blocking, right? Hi, mama. I'm going to show her an open hand. You want to stand here and not walk away? That's fantastic. I will pet you and I will get these eye goopies out of your beautiful eyeballs. There you go. Hi. What you think? So, just as a little bit of extra encouragement, I don't like generally walking a dog on their flat collar. However, we're not walking anywhere far. I'm just going to lead her. Whoa. Aha. I didn't say go anywhere. Simon says, let's walk. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's okay. Good girl. I like having a flat collar on a dog if I'm not sure if they're going to respond. Yeah, I'm feeding the bees. Come on. Come on, baby. That's okay. You hear the neighbor's dog? Maybe don't want to walk that way. Let's walk this way then. Let's walk this way then. Okay, yeah, you want to walk towards the porch. I hear you. That's fine. So I'm going to get in front, right? Because we're following me. We're not following Nala. That's a no. She's lost a little bit of weight and she looks good. Good girl. Oh, good girl. And I'm not going to walk away from her. I'm just going to turn this way, right? The direction I want to go. And I'm going to let her come to me and I'm going to pet her. Good girl. And you can do this in your yard. If she's not wanting to listen to you, right? It's one of the reasons I took her harness off. Because in your yard, if she's going to wear the invisible fence collar too, that's fine. But I'd keep her flat collar on her because, I mean, ID tags are always better than none. Good girl. If she were to accidentally get through the fence for any reason. See how we're kind of taking a breather? Well, when you have a dog that's a little bit more nervous, one that's very hyper aware like she is, you got to take your time, right? Come on. That's okay. I'm not going to pull her. I'm not going to force her. We can't force our animals to do anything, right? Because that's not learning. That's fear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. And I'm looking that way. And I'm kind of keeping her in the corner of my eyeball. I'm not staring at her, but I'm keeping, you can see the direction of my feet. I'm facing my body the direction I'd like to go. Come on, Nala. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Good girl. It's okay that she didn't walk all the way over there. She got a little mat behind her ear. Just a little one. See, it'd be easy to snip out with a pair of scissors. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So if you notice she's distracted while you're in your yard and say you're trying to get her to come to you and she's just not doing, right? It's not ever going to be the dog's fault that they're not understanding the way that we are communicating. So if someone were talking to you, if a different species, whoa, good girl. If a different species entirely were talking to you, right? They're trying to get you to understand a language you don't know. You're not going to know what they want. And if you mess up, it's not really your fault for not understanding the miscommunication, right? It's up to us because we are essentially a dog's parent, right? So it is our responsibility to make sure that we are communicating in a way that they also understand, right? And sometimes with a dog that's a little bit more nervous, a little bit more reserved like Nala is, that's okay. We just have to remember to always take a deep breath. We can't get frustrated. We just have to think of a different way to communicate, right? Good girl. See how she's more relaxed now? Yeah, you just want to get closer to me. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. More relaxed. Right, we like that. Nice deep breaths, hearing you breathe, hearing you talk. Sometimes if a dog's real nervous or, if we're trying to do something new and I'm just trying to make sure it's not dead silent, we're not going up there. And see, all this leash is doing is preventing her from doing what I do not want her to do. It is an extra tool with our communication, right? Hi. Because if she wanted, if it were up to her, she'd just ignore me entirely and walk on up there. Hi. Hi. Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful. You are a sweet little baby. You are a sweet, sweet baby. Yes, ma'am, you are. And I can tell she's more relaxed. Look at her whole body, right? Hi. And as soon as my hand goes away, she's like, excuse me? Come on. Come on. Good girl, Nala. Oh, good girl. I'm going to ask for a little bit more, right? I'm going to make sure this leash is not tight. See how much loose flop it has in it right here? I'm going to shorten it. I'm just like slowly creeping my hand up this line here. Good girl. Come on. That's okay. Hi. I'm going to put a single fingertip. It's hard to see because she has a longer coat. I am going to put a single fingertip in just the very, very tip of my finger, right? Just like that pad on that finger is underneath her collar. And I'm going to say, come on, Nala. Good girl. She moved a single foot in the direction I wanted. A-okay. I'm going to let go. Good. This is not about making giant steps, right? Baby steps. Big change does not happen overnight. Slow and steady. Ooh, you're okay. That's okay. She told me she was uncomfortable with me doing that. I'm not going to touch her collar and try to move her again. Okay? Did you see that type of reaction? She was like, oh no, don't touch me. Totally fine. I'm going to back all the way up out of your space. That made you uncomfortable. Our goal is never to make our dog uncomfortable. Ever. That is never our goal. Hi. And if we see something makes our dog uncomfortable, we need to stop. Good girl. So, for her, don't ever go to reach for her collar, okay? If you ever have an issue getting her to come to you, go get a leash. And don't grab, right? So right now, she's distracted. She may still be nervous. Again, I'm not going to touch her collar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself less intimidating. Oh, good girl. And she came right to me. And I'm going to let her come to me. Now and forevermore, she comes to you, right? Good. Good girl. Because that's her choice. She's coming to me, right? No one wants to be forced to do anything. I like to think of dogs, even the really small ones, oh, good girl, like they're the size of a horse, right? You can't force a 1,000+ pound animal to do anything. You literally cannot do it, right? We can't force our dogs to do anything either. It's up to them. They need to be willing to cooperate, but for them to be willing to cooperate, we have to be willing to understand their limitations, right? Good girl. See how she's following me now? She realized I'm not going to walk up to you and grab you. You're going to allow me to come to you at my own speed. Yes, ma'am, I am. And it may feel like backtracking since you have had her on the invisible fence and, you may have to go back to using a leash more frequently, almost like when she was a puppy. But that's okay. Good girl. Get that drool off your nose. Last April, I adopted a 8.5, 9-year-old-ish, give or take, dog, right? And just like when I bring in a new puppy, that dog was tethered to me for about 2.5 weeks on a leash, in the house, in the yard, everywhere we went. You ready? Come on. So I said, come on. I gave her a little kissy sound. She didn't come with me. I'm going to kneel down. Oh, good girl. Like I said, this may seem very basic. This may seem very elementary. That's okay. She's telling me that she needs this. We just need to back up a few steps, right? That's okay. Say that's okay. If I were to try to be like thrown back into a math class and learn one very specific skill, which is essentially what we're doing when we're working on something specific like recall, right? It's not just basic training, it's several different things. It's one very specific thing, right? So if I were to go back into a math class and try to learn trig, I'd probably have to backtrack on some of my algebra and whatnot too, right? Good girl. Oh my goodness. Good girl. And notice I am not going over top of her head when I pet. I am starting on either her chest, her shoulder, her neck, or the side of her cheek here. You can go behind the ears. Now we can work our way to the top of the head. Some dogs just don't like being touched on the top of the head. That's okay. someone were to reach over and grab me on top of the head, I probably wouldn't appreciate it either. Again, not coming, totally fine. So I'm kind of bent over like at a 90 degree at the hip. I'm not squatting down like I generally am, right? Okay. I'm not going to argue with her about it. Hi. You're okay? What's up? So I'm not gonna go to her. Oh, good girl. Oh, good girl. Oh, good girl. So I didn't go to her. I didn't say anything. And I wasn't staring at her either. I just gave her a second to think. Sometimes that's all we need. Give you a little kiss. Yes. Oh, you are such a snuggle bug. If you've cut her food back, which I can tell you have, and she looks great, if you notice her continuing to lose any weight, up her food by about a quarter cup just a day so that she's not on a weight loss program anymore. She's more on a weight maintenance. See, more on weight maintenance because you look fantastic. You have that nice definition back. Good girl. And you see how she's getting hot? She's getting tired. It's okay. We're not gonna run straight for the porch. Good. Slacken the line here, right? It is hot. It's about 82 degrees right now. But we will go to the car for water because I have fresh water out there too, miss. That's okay. She's just gonna sit right there. That's all right. I got about an 8-foot lead right here. This is an 8-foot line. I'm just kidding. It's not about, it is. So again, slacken my line. It's not tight. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, you are such a sweet little girl. Yes, you are. So good. Oh, you are such a good baby. Notice my tone, right? Tone is incredibly important. Dogs are really, really neat in the way that you can't hide what you're feeling from them because they can smell your emotions. So if that line gets caught in between her back legs like that, go low with it, right? Like almost put your hand on the ground. There we go. So that it doesn't accidentally, so it's less likely to accidentally give her a rope burn. Because rope burn's very painful. Before we walk out, I'm going to put her harness back on because like I said, I don't like walking a dog on a flat collar. Do you see how she doesn't like that going over her head? That's okay. I'm going to go low with it. And I'm going to put my hand and slide it. There we go. There we go. Good girl. I'm just going to adjust, make sure her collar is not underneath that breastplate at all. I'm going to disconnect my leash from her collar. And then one at a time, I'm going to do the belly straps. Do the side closest to me first. I'm going to reach over and under. Good girl. Good girl. Then I'm going to reconnect my leash. Right there on top of her harness. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There we go. Good girl, Nala. Good girl, Nala. Sometimes we gotta back up. Sometimes we gotta go back to kindergarten, right? That's all right. So again, before I open this gate, just like with doorways, I want her to be in. That's okay that she turned away. It's fine. I don't mind. I pushed into her space. I didn't give her anything specific to do. I just kind of stepped towards her, right? Oh, good girl. And I'm going to invite her out. Good. We have to make our expectations really, really clear for our dogs. And to do that, we first have to have a very clear expectation in our mind of what we want our dog to do, right? Good girl. So, like I was saying, you can't hide what you're feeling from your dog. Your dog can smell your emotions. It's also why dogs work for service animals and can smell diabetic. You know, they can smell insulin, depressions before they happen and save people's lives. Easy. I have a dog that alerts me when I'm going to have a migraine. Cool stuff. They know it before we do, right? Nice loose line here. It's not terribly long line, but it's loose so that she doesn't get too far ahead, right? Because we're going to work on the leash manners at all times. If a leash is on, we got to be working on those manners. Good. Consistency and persistence. Good. And compassion win the game here. Good girl. But you can't lie to your dog. If you ever get frustrated when you're working with your dog, any dog, good. Stop the training session. Ask them to do something really simple and then stop for a few minutes. Take a few deep breathers. Let the dog take a few deep breathers, because if you get frustrated, they're going to know you're frustrated. And a dog like Nala, it's going to make her want to ignore you because it's intimidating to her that you're frustrated. And she doesn't know why. She just knows that you're frustrated. You ready? Yeah, there's treats and like Target sticks and all sorts of stuff in there right now. You can jump up there. You can hit that seat from there. Come on. Atta girl. Whoops. Cool, I'm bringing a stick into the car with us. Do you want this? Anyway, I'm going to detangle the stick from my leash here. And, yeah, that was a really good girl. That was a really great session. Baby steps. Behavior change does not happen. It's okay. See how that made her nervous? I'm going to show her my hand. Hi. She looked at my hand, acknowledged its presence, and is not moving into my hand. She does not want me to touch her right now. Totally fine. What I am going to do, though, is just detach. Do you see that face? I'm not. I'm going to give you a minute. What I'm going to do is detach the leash from me. Then I'm going to start the car so I can get some AC blowing. Also, I'm going to get her a bowl of water going. But if our dog is uncomfortable and they're giving us that flat ear back, that side eye expression, we need to stop. We need to reevaluate what we're doing, right? It's okay. It's not actually that hot in the shade. We can wait on the AC. So I'm just going to get her this bowl of water going. Good girl. So I've kind of got her a little bit distracted. Good girl. Easy access over her back. There we go. Now the leash is off. Pretty cool, right? I'm sure you're getting a really wonderful shot of the ceiling of my car. Let me get her some water. Good girl. Get you some water. Did you only want it while it was pouring out of the cup? But it's really, really, really important for a dog. Yeah, it's okay. We move on her time, right? Good girl. Now I'm going to turn the AC in the car. You got to get that water going first. Hydration, super, super important. Super, super, super important. The dog's going to dehydrate and get hot faster, much, much, much faster than we do. We have sweat glands all over our body. They do not have that same luxury. Good girl. Good girl. Want some water? Too nervous? That's okay. I'm gonna go just sit in the front seat and kind of ignore you for a few seconds and see what you think about the water then. Very good girl.